Hey friends, this is Mike Simmons. Tesserae students, you're listening to this for your final project for theme development for Volume 7 in 2021. Advisor friends, editors at other schools, welcome. I advise Tesserae, the yearbook at Corning Painted Post High School in upstate New York, and I host the Yearbook Wise podcast. I want to show you a little bit about how we are collecting theme materials while we're on distance learning. We've had to pick up a new tool, a new resource, because we're not doing this in the real with, cutting samples and examples out of magazines and things in our lab because school is shut down right now. A couple quick things. If you are an advisor checking this out online and you don't know about this resource here, this is at tinyurl.com/theme25. The most recent episode of the Yearbook Wise podcast, which I forced my students to listen to for their theme development project. I paired it with some distance learning materials, including a guided notes page and a brainstorm prompt that is loading here in a second. Hopefully it's a PDF. But all of these resources could be used by you with your students while we're on distance learning and as you wrap up your school year. Guided notes on the first page, a little bit of looking back at your previous 3 themes, and then some questions down here at the bottom for you to provoke brainstorming and discussion with your staff. All of that and a gallery of 7 really outstanding books from the 2019 class are here. This is theme content or covers from those books, but then the entire book is linked at each one of these links in the gallery. And thank you to the advisors who have helped me make that happen. For those of you, though, checking this out, and certainly for my own Tesserae students, what I would like to talk to you about is Jamboard. Now, in the past at school, we would do a mood board assignment where the final outcome is this right here. Now, advisors, this document with the yellow and red, this is linked from that previous document at the tiny URL. But we would kind of do this organic mood board, kind of slapdash. I mean, it's organized and purposeful, but everything's just kind of jammed on there, stapled on there. Sometimes they would extend their foam core boards here to fit a little bit more on. But the components of this for everyone are, right here at top left. Right here is an explanation of Carly's theme proposal from that year. And then we've got typography examples and photography, infographic design, spread layout design, graphic elements, color palettes, all sorts of stuff that we just want to kind of set with itself and take in wholesale. Again, create a mood, a tone, a feel for where this book is going to go in the future. And now that we're not in the lab, we can't paste and glue down anymore, so we're going to use Jamboard instead. Now, Jamboard was new to me about a week ago. It's within the Google Suites, just like Google Docs and Sheets and Forms. Jam like jelly, jamboard.google.com. Type that into your browser and you're off and running. Everything that I can tell, it's free and ready to go. Advisors, I've set up a little bit of a template that I'm going to do a share link out to my students when they open it. And Tesserae students, when you click on the link, you're going to make a copy and that will add it to your own Google Drive. So I've been able to give it a little bit of structure to tell you guys where I want stuff and how I'd like it to be, and then each of you is going to individualize it from there. Now, advisors, if you were starting this from scratch by yourself, come down here to the bottom right corner to this little plus sign, and that would kick off your jam. Now, we're going to look into the template that I've set up here. Takes a little bit to load. I'm having internet problems today, but each board is a collection of frames. I would say frames and boards are kind of interchangeable in my brain anyhow. Hopefully this loads. You're going to be able to create space for your students to collect and organize the content that they are curating for their theme development projects. I'm going to skip tabs. I've got this open already. Let's go with this one. So, hey, check it out. Jamboard, it's open. It worked. You could use sticky notes like this, advisors, to direct your students' attention and focus. But let's get oriented to this, and I'll show you how we're going to use it. Up at the top, you got a navigation bar. I've created 3 frames within this board, and you can see thumbnails of each. We can do an add here in between to add frames. You can collapse this, and then you can navigate to right and left based on these little carrots here. In the background, kind of some cool options here. We can add in dots or rule lines, kind of looks like a college rule. We can do a grid. We can do kind of a reverse grid. I kind of like that look. And then a dark blue and a black as well. So let's keep it here on the gray for right now. Clear frame deletes everything. Be careful with that. And we've got some basic zoom and undo things here. The controls are pretty simple. This isn't super tricked out, and I kind of like it that way. Toolbar over here on the left, we've got a pen, a marker, a highlighter, and a brush. 6 colors only. Below that, an eraser that gets rid of that stuff. A selection tool to move things around. A sticky notes tool, and an upload images tool. Down at the bottom, if I was using this on distance learning and trying to draw attention to an element or something like that, I've got a little bit of a laser pointer here. Not sure how that looks for you on your screen. It's a little bit laggy on mine. The sticky note functionality is pretty straightforward. You've got 5 colors or nothing to choose from. And if you look at the bottom of the sticky note, you can see this little blue bar is filling up. It's not Twitter length per se, but there's definitely a character limit. I'm not sure what it is, maybe 200 characters or so. So be mindful of that. But you could say this is a sticky note. And you hit save. And you see it pops out there, but the interface is still here. Just click away, single click, and then you've got that note. A couple things you can do with it. You can duplicate it. You can go back in and edit the text. You can delete it wholesale. Top left of all items allows you to pivot. Command Z undoes, and you can drag from corners. You'll see, folks, they kind of vector. There's no pixelation there. That scales real nicely, and that's going to help us in a minute. So, Tesserae students, to you, when you guys get to this board, you're going to go yellow, blue, red, copy and rename this to your docs. Come over here to the triple dot, go to make a copy, and you're going to add that. You can organize it, but add it into your own drive. And as you do that, please change it to, let's go V7 theme and your last name, V7 theme Simmons, and you're good to go. You would hit OK. I'm not going to. All right. Blue, what do we want here? You're going to place your theme summary and its tagline on this board. You're going to prepare that in a Google Doc. If you need to get to other boards, note the navigation at center top. You're also, Tesserae students, going to publish or post a screenshot or a photo of your guided notes from the podcast, from this sheet here. If you printed that at home and filled it out, then take a picture of it, and I want that picture in the board here. That's evidence that you completed it, so thank you. Those 2 things are going to go here. Well, how do we do that? Come down to the Add Image tool, and hopefully the internet is going to behave itself. We're going to select some images. Let's pretend that this was your theme statement. I think this year the theme should be just do it, and here's why, and it's a good fit for our school because, and that's my story, yada, yada, yada. Paragraph or 2 defending that. We can put that right here. You don't need to sticky note this. I know I'll recognize what it is. I'm going to go back and upload my homework. I've got that in my downloads folder. This is actually Caitlin Chung's homework. So Caitlin, nice job putting you on the spot here. Upload that, and you can see it seems like it's behaving. Well, see, now I say that and it slows down. At any rate, it's pretty straightforward. Uploads might take a modest amount of time. Really no big deal. Here is Caitlin's homework. I'm going to reposition that, and yep, we're good to go. That's her notes from the podcast. Tesserae students, those are the only things that I need on this. Please do publish the brainstorming part, or maybe you brainstormed somewhere else, but put that on this first frame as well. All right, let's get to the good stuff, the fun stuff, the visuals. Click over to board 2. This is board 2. You're going to organize your theme materials here. Add a sticky note to each or each batch. You know, maybe you do this like columns. Here's my type design, here's my color stuff, whatever. And do note the original source of your content, please, because we're going to want to be able to chase it back and maybe look for more examples. If you really loved the April edition of Backpacker magazine, and then the editors for Volume 7 end up loving it as well, we're going to want to be able to go back to that and see what else there is for inspiration. So a couple things. We've got 4 spreads here that I did screenshots of. They scale, so that's pretty cool. They'll come in, you know, maybe about yay big or so, and students and advisors both, you can take them right down, scale them down, create that sticky note. You can say, I said, I like the layers of coverage here. Again, the use of the rule lines to define the columns of type. Headlines were working too. Some neat stuff going on there with the rule lines and the headlines. I liked that. And so here's that sticky note. I'm going to scale it down. It does stop. I can't make it any smaller than that. So that's a good size. Just make that touch. Here's another one. A couple comments from Backpacker, April 2020. I accessed that on RB Digital via our public library. It's a great place, advisor friends. If you can't get to magazines and such right now or don't want to be sharing those or handing those around or whatever, check out your local library, see what magazines they subscribe to, and via the RB Digital app, you can get screenshots of the same. Maybe I organize it this way. Maybe I say all my typography examples are going to be in a column, all my color examples over here in a column. But found this in a hip hop magazine. Love that type, love the design, the transparent arrow and circle over here. You can see when I took this off the side, I can't get to that grabby anymore, so I just move it over and scale it back down and just park it right here in this column. And we're good to go. You know, really that's the long and short of it. I'll do one more ad image just to show you. But once you've got some screenshots ready to go, you can go ahead and park these here. That's really for my Tesserae students and certainly advisor friends too. If you're going to have your students do this, you know, don't let it get all backed up and try to download everything at once. Stay current on the sticky notes, get those URLs or the date and month of the magazine so that you could backtrack and resource it for more inspiration. You see sometimes these uploads do take a little bit, and I think that's more to do with my internet than anything about file sizes right now. But once this completes, we'll scale it down, we'll tag it with a sticky and park it on this board. I did create a, sure, what the heck, we'll go tilty, that's fine. We'll go this way. I did make a third board for my students. We'll make this one pink maybe, and I like this too. The yellow borders and the black framing elements. We could do this. There we go, hit save. It's going to make that sticky. Click away, grab the sticky, make it touch. I should have put the source for that, so students, again, make sure that you're giving us sourcing on all of that. Board 3 over here, we're good to go if you guys need some overflow. But I think this is going to be great for being able to get a sense of it all kind of working together, you know, very nearly overlapping. And again, if I saw each of these, we were thinking originally about doing this on Google Slides with one image per slide, and I think this is going to be a lot more effective because it kind of all hits you all at once and gives you that mood, that tone and feel of the direction that you're going. So theme in 25 minutes for advisor friends, you're right here, and our actually, I don't think our assignment is linked here. So this assignment right here, I'll make sure is linked through to that assignment. Tesserae students, you've already got this, and you're going to be able to get with me on Slack to pick up the share link for this template, but you guys will be off and running there. So stay tidy and organized. Do give us details of where you found stuff. That's going to help us downstream, and I appreciate you watching, guys. Thanks so much. Be well.